Welcome to this week's episode of Olsem Wanem. I'm Florence John Duo. With the advancement in technology, filmmaking in Papua New Guinea is becoming more and more possible. In this episode, we will discuss the significance of local film production in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guineans have the talent, knowledge, and potential to produce high-quality films. However, there are many factors which hinder film production in our country. First, let us find out why we as Papua New Guineans need to start telling our own stories through films.
So it's a very unique thing that film can provide to capture this moment in time and the place in film and preserve it.
Papua New Guinea is virtually an untouched land, and we have so many stories to tell. A lot of exploratory, it's just like in research. A lot of people like to come to PNG because it's untouched grounds. And the same goes into filmmaking. However, a lot gets twisted along the way. I like to see more of our real stories being told, more understanding, more respect. And I say this having worked with a lot of brilliant foreign filmmakers as well who come in and whom I have a lot of respect for because they stay on the land, they stay for months and try to understand. And it's just putting it out there. We need to take more ownership. Let me just tell you a very quick story. I was at the FIFA Film Festival in Tahiti about 2 years ago, and we were there for training. It was a filmmaking training for the region. And surprise, surprise, I see a film that has entered the festival and will be played. It was so negative. It was about PNG. It was about the witchcraft issue in the highlands.
Culturally, we are used to spending time and telling those stories around around a fire at the end of the day. So in that sense, to bring this sort of media for discussion and to highlight the community's needs and to tell their stories.
Film production is challenging in Papua New Guinea. In fact, to date, most films about PNG have been produced by foreigners. Papua New Guinea has many local budding filmmakers with potential to create more films about PNG, largely as a result of the growing media industry within the country. Despite financial and more commonly cultural odds stacked against them, they continue to persevere. They do their best as producers, directors, and camera operators to get complete their films.
Encouraging more Papua New Guineans to get behind the camera, to make their own films, to continue to preserve our story for future generations.
Some early films on PNG include Yumi Yet, a documentary highlighting the day PNG gained independence in 1975. Films like Yumi Yet show what films can do to portray PNG to the outside world. Here are some films on PNG or featuring PNG in one way or another. First Contact, a documentary made in 1983, written by Brian Ronsley. This documentary presents footage of the first contact between the highland tribes of Papua New Guinea and European explorers in the 1930s. Black Harvest is a documentary and the final film in the Highlands trilogy. The Highlands trilogy features 3 stunning, critically acclaimed documentaries set in the Highlands region of PNG and shot for over 10 years. The Highlands trilogy consists of the First Contact, produced in 1983, followed by Joe Lay's Neighbors in 1989, and The Black Harvest in 1992. Walkabout Bilong Tonten, a Tokpisin language drama produced in 1974, based upon the beginning of Papua New Guinea as an independent nation. Lastly but not the least is The Power Mary, a documentary series of 6 by 26 minutes films about women leaders in PNG. Power Mary portrays strong female role models in PNG society. The films aim to challenge existing stereotypes about women and inspire young women to become leaders themselves. You're watching Olsem Wanem. The film industry in PNG is slowly blossoming with many aspiring local filmmakers, both male and female. In the past, foreign filmmakers made it possible for the younger generation of this country to have a glimpse of what PNG was like in the early days of nationhood through films that they produced. But with PNG approaching 40 years of independence, it's time Papua New Guineans got behind the camera to capture and tell our own stories to the world. Although filmmaking in Papua New Guinea has been dominated by outsiders, many Papua New Guineans have been part and partial of these films produced and directed by outsiders. According to a research carried out in 2013 on women and filmmaking in PNG, which was published under Contemporary PNG Studies in the Divine Word University Research Journal, Volume 18, Papua New Guineans have watched Western films so many times that we have become so accustomed to these Western films that most of us never gave a second thought to the possibility that we can make our own.
The simple story is not enough people get their stories told because on the major networks, because our stories may not be as important money-wise.
The late anthropologist Nancy Sullivan also published in an article in 2013 stating that technology changes have made Papua New Guineans have access to video and digital cameras. This evidently shows that there is increasing accessibility to filmmaking equipment, resulting in more film productions by nationals.
Those that have been trained, those that have the heart to go all the way, we don't have an access, we don't have something to put it out there. So in that regard, the 6th Papua New Guinea Human Rights Film Festival allows us Papua New Guinea filmmakers to bring our thoughts and our dreams, but more importantly, to tell our stories to the rest of the world.
I think this initiative, this annual film festival is doing a great job, and I think, it's in this area that's sufficient for now. Really, I think if there's anything that we need, that it should go into training of filmmakers. I think the challenges are pretty much general throughout. Whether you're male or female, the same challenges remain, one of which is training. Training, like I said, it's a bit of a new industry here, and there's not much training opportunities for filmmakers, national filmmakers here in Papua New Guinea. Now we have the University of Goroka's CSCM department, which recently introduced the program. I think they are now formally teaching the program as a course, and I must acknowledge that I'm here also mostly in that capacity. I was invited on board the Power Mary series as one of the 6 directors. So that was an initiative also to lift the, how shall I call it, the profile of female filmmakers here in PNG, and that was an awesome initiative funded by AusAid.
Regardless of the accessibility and availability of relevant equipment for film production, finance is one major drawback when it comes to film production in our country.
So there's a whole lot of filmmakers. What it is they can't come to Port Moresby. If they do come, who do they give it to? That information is not available.
Finance is just one challenge that many budding Papua New Guinean filmmakers face. There are, however, many other challenges they come across when trying to produce a film.
Specifically to female, I'd say the safety aspect. You cannot ignore that, because I was recently working on a project it was based on homeless boys on the streets of Port Moresby, and I can tell you that project is still in progress, hasn't really gotten far because of the nature of the topic. We perhaps as females would be more prone to, what do you call that, safety issues. And we found it was a big challenge. I think that's one challenge where I feel that if I was male, I probably would have finished the film already, but we got a lot of attention, unwanted attention. And my colleague as well is also female, so that's Korima. We own One Productions, which is our media company. And yeah, it took 2 years, over 2 years, and we still couldn't get it quite off the ground because we got harassed, one. We had equipment to look after, and then we were driving around ourselves as females, and then it was quite a challenge we took on too, attempting to tell a story where you had to go into the settlements.
We don't get exposure because most of the TV companies have their own corporate interest or own commercialized interest to attend to. So in that regard, we don't have an avenue in which to put ourselves out to. 6th Papua New Guinea Human Rights Film Festival allows us Papua New Guinea filmmakers to bring our thoughts and our dreams, but more importantly, to tell our stories to the rest of the world. Thank you.
Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. In this segment, we will feature a short documentary directed by one of Papua New Guinea's very own filmmaker, Ranagi Taukarai. Her documentary is one of the 6 documentaries from the Power Mary films titled Lapan. Enjoy.
All of us that are educated have a duty of care.
I didn't want my woman to die from childbirth. I need to make a difference.
Long you must work, you kai now look out in all picking play.
People's lives depend upon it. If I can do it, you can do it.
Time all Mary all immobilized now ting you me bamaki musat all talk Miriam Potopi emi fit Mary.
Yes, Mama belum fit. Can come up magistrate. Want a strong Mary. Because I'm hero, minus a parrot.
Time sas migam big plan asas dayan ba mixi plus lang.
Entre los manos, a mí me la lapan, meaning that I'm cheap.
Na mi Miriam Potopi, mi belong tungo Masi. Na mi pinpon na 1942, na liglig plus plamin delam. Ura, mina sabi rit na right. Tasal people li hamamas, long makimi, mi all blameri, mi sabi long lob long custom, na mi kama pedestre.
Custom lo manus, ol mana soli sa katimbuai. Tasal longem lo houseboy blongen no tungu, i different. So this lapun meri somehow that ami fortunate enough long, ami can send up long, I blong houseboy blongen. Na ami can katimbuai, na ami can meeting custom.
Na Tesla, I kam lang yumi all kita pigin ini mana Mary, I challenge sa. I blay mas walking walk long custom, Olsem na chol kakanisana. Na I blay walking walk long kapman, Olsem mina muisana. Oli hama masimi, na lugim na muikat plan di lain na wal salongan. Uro, thank you. Talk lang Olsem kas.
Lomi pla lo manos em custom lomi pla em anti em big plus something. Okay, you pla bating all same time mi kam lo both mi dani sa. Ya mi dani se mi hama mas lo anti blomi because lo culture blomi pla em blessing na case mi kam lo anti. So anti suppose all same lomi pla em mouse blong em big plus something. Suppose mi work em good pla longin na em to all same em blessing mi pa to oh you ba you kisim sabe oh ba you kisim good pla pasin blomi lo bungi mol mano kain all same em ba mi kam all same. So long this lam mi to all same anti em geno vol trade em ba mi to anti blomi Miriam ya emi one pla Mary. Tas all inside long community blomi pla. Emi gat save all same long all man.
Now mi plakam big playa money die or by Mary emisa lead him Mary tasol emisa lead him all brother blongen long custom na emi like him all something mas straight na suppose all something in straight and by cross.
Este long avino ni bikisim tok sabe sono garamot ino long ngarndwe no. Garamot na bay kwanta long Hawaii na yubla pa move gula Hawaii lo garamot.
Mi to ki bibla, garamot am true program mi like am lo mi bla long ngarndwe. Tasal ibla ting one plus something ah. Am strong poka uni dai. Na oli plani mem haste. Na now so was garamot ikrai and me look no good. Because me talk me from people house boy, me must respect him custom. Olsem na me talk, yes, by Golong Island.
Welcome back to the program. Recently, the 6th PNG Human Rights Film Festival was held in Port Moresby. Olsem Wanem was part of this festival. We asked those who attended the festival about their views on using film as a tool to create awareness on different issues within PNG.
Yeah, I do agree with using that channel of promoting the rights messages. But the only concern would be the very remote places in the country. How do we get across and disseminate the information back to the very remote areas? So that's something for everyone to think about.
It's a very effective medium. I think it's one of the most important ways to communicate, because a lot of people don't always understand or digest information through maybe reading. So film is another way which I think the majority of the PNG population can benefit from.
Probably with today's society, I think it's best. But a lot of the people got access to it, but in the more logic thing, you should personally go down to, down there where the people are. Villages, some of them don't have access to videos and all these things. We have to go down there, basically have to go down there and talk with them regarding this thing. It's very good, but we have to take the message across to the people.
For Papua New Guinea Tourism Promotion Authority, we use images. We go out to provinces, take photographs, videos of tourism products and services out there, and behind the scene, or even included in those videos, we have people, Papua New Guineans who are behind the scene, and you see smiling face of people and children and women. It tells a million stories about Papua New Guinea. We use those photographs or images plus the videos to market and promote Papua New Guinea overseas, in the hope that we get tourists to come here, visit our tourism sites and attractions.
Great, because it's something that people can view, see it, and they can relate to their own life, and they could reflect in their own life what is happening in their society, or personally something that affects someone. When they see the video, it could reflect to their own personal life, and like if there is something that we could work on to improve, or something that you haven't done, but if it is shown in the video, then you see that, oh, there's something we need to do. So it's a good way of discerning information.
I personally believe that this is such a great opportunity for people to come and learn about our human rights, and the films that they're showing here are examples of, they have great messages about the different values of rights and where they apply and how they're being used.
We've come to the end of this episode of Olsem Wanem. But before we go, did you know about our citizen journalism project, Me Report? You too can contribute a story on an issue that may be affecting you or your community. It's easy to submit your very own Me Report. So go to facebook.com/Me Report to find out how you can show the world your world. A special thank you to all who participated in putting together this episode. If you have any comments or stories you would like to share, please contact us via the address showing on your screen or visit our Facebook page. Join us again same time next week for another episode of Olsem Wanem. For now, enjoy the rest of your viewing on your #1 station, MTV.